Lens with Students for Life America and Edinburgh University. Firstly, a pro-life group, Students for Life, held an event at Virginia Commonwealth University in America. Kristen Hawkins and her co-host Isabel Brown were shouted down by angry Antifa protesters. The two were denied any chance of civil discourse, and Kristen Hawkins is still angry at the school, and I don't blame her. Let's take a look at what happened.
Pro-life! Pro-life!
You won't even let me answer her questions. Would you like me to answer the question?
No! Fascists go home! Fascists go home!
Would you like to Google the word fascist? Here they come. Isabel, watch yourself. Excuse me, I thought VCU rules were that you can't disrupt a peaceful gathering, and no one's doing anything. They're assaulting her! It's a medical term!
Listen up! Calm down!
They are temporarily removing us from the room instead of kicking out the protesters.
So campus police at VCU is shutting down our peaceful assembly because of these fascists right here. So they're going to let these big crybabies, these fascists, get their way.
This video was posted on Students for Life Instagram. The campus policy found Antifa's disruption of the events not a reasonable security threat. Pro-abortion and profanity seem to go hand in hand. Have they lost the art of disagreeing with someone without the need to be disrespectful and cursing them out? The irony here is that the Antifa lot, they use the word fascist. Fascism is defined as the forcible suppression of opposition. A key characteristic of fascism is the destruction of freedom of speech. It is chilling and ironic that these students who claim to be the enemies of fascism are in fact the ones entrenched in fascist ideology by trying to forcibly censor those they disagree with. They stand there screaming and they refuse to listen to the speakers. This is something that pro-life people have become increasingly exposed to. It is sad but not surprising that the pro-abortion activists resorted to physical violence. Abortion is violence against unborn babies. We should not be surprised when abortion activists turn to violence to try and intimidate pro-lifers. Free speech should be valued on campus. How do they cope with someone who has a different opinion with them when they go home or in their place of work? I'd like to know. Their only answer, it seems to be, is to scream and shout at those with a different opinion to them. Not only is it happening in America, but pro-life students have experienced increasing hostility and even death threats at universities across the UK in recent years. Here's a clip from when my colleague Margaret Akers was giving a speech on coercion in Edinburgh University at the Pro-Life Society. The talk was optional to attend, and Margaret couldn't give her talk on coercion as she had it overtaken by pro-aborts. I would have thought that the topic of coerced abortion was one pro-choice and pro-life people could find common ground on. But let's take a look at what they had to say.
So today I want to explore
Stop this right now. We are cleaning this space. Students are not okay with this group coming here to spread harmful rhetoric. Stop it. We are not allowing this to happen here on campus. This is not about freedom of speech. This is spreading harmful misinformation that is actively harming people with uteruses today. This is not freedom of speech. The university.
Okay, so the fact that she said that it's actively harming people with uteruses, what about the harm that chemical abortions do to babies and women? I would have hoped that the issue of coerced abortion that Margaret was trying to give a talk on is one where pro-life and pro-choice people could find common ground and share a desire to protect people from this kind of abuse. But we'll go back to the video.
The university is allowing this to happen, and the students are not okay with this.
This is a purely optional event. We're not going to spread this information to anyone who doesn't want to be here to listen to it.
This is not what we stand for at the university. We don't stand for hate, and we don't stand for misinformation.
Oh, okay, hold up. When she said we don't stand for hate and we don't stand for misinformation, really? You barge in with a bullhorn and interrupt a woman while she is speaking. How very kind of you. Let's get back to the video though.
And talking about it's still difficult because of the shame and fear that surrounds it. This conversation is not an open conversation because, like was said earlier, you're not focusing on all types of coercion. My story is that I had to have an abortion because I was coerced.
Okay, so she comes in and she wants to share my story, but you are at a pro-life event. Your story is important, but to hijack the room and force people to listen to your story when they're here to hear a different speaker, it appears intolerant. Let's get back to the video though.
Is there anybody here that doesn't want to be here?
Yeah,
We're an affiliated user society. We're allowed to invite speakers as any other society are.
And we are allowed to protest.
Okay, when the uni staff member, when he said, is there anyone here that doesn't want to be here, it's kind of ironic. It's almost like asking those held hostage, are you okay? Do you want a cup of tea while you're being held hostage? But we'll get back to the video.
Protesting. It is a basic human right, and that's what we are here to do.
Right, absolutely. We're just
guys,
asking that our speakers
I'm just asking, is everybody going to be here? That's it, and I'm going to have to get in touch with security, which I didn't want to do.
So there is just some snippets of the video that you can see online. Freedom of speech is one of the rights we cherish in this country, and it is chilling when certain voices are silenced because they are unpalatable to others. Pro-life university students have been routinely subject to censorship and unfair treatment. The right to speak up for the most defenceless members of the human race, unborn babies and mothers, is one that many pro-life students are passionate about. Governments must make it clear to universities that the free speech of all students should be protected without exception. Every day, over 500 children are killed by abortion in the UK. And that is something we can never hope to change if we fail to fight for pro-life freedom of speech.